Hello and welcome back to the Lenko Show. This is episode number 139. And if you haven't joined us for a podcast episode before, then this is the place where we talk about all aspects of human performance, whether it's mindset, sleep, nutrition, training. We like to get stuck into it all. So I am your host, Alex Lankowski, and I am here with my co-host, my co-presenter, my smaller, younger, faster, denser version of myself, Chris.
Denser.
Denser is in more compact. You've been like no. I'm a bit fluffier, is what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to give you a compliment.
I
I'm not
don't know
saying
about that. I don't know about that, but I will take it as a compliment, and I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
I'm not calling you a dum dum by any stretch. Not
Well,
at
I mean, you're also not far wrong with that one either. So we all have our moments, don't we?
that's not fair. Anyway, today's theme. This is kind of a continuation, a bit of a work in progress, bit of a project I've been stuck in for a while. It's always been on the mind that I wanted to do this, but I'm going to be talking you through my home gym setup. Now, if you would like to go back and listen to a previous episode we recorded on this very subject, it's only 7 episodes ago, sorry. And that is number 132, where we were looking at home gyms and what you could set up based on a range of budgets from anything from less than 100 quid all the way up to if you wanted to go for the big shebang like 10k plus, then there is something for you to get stuck into. So if you are looking at elevating your game by training at home, just making your general life more efficient, or maybe you want to get out of the gym that you're in or tailor something a bit more to you, or even just have something set up so you can do a little bit extra on top and still be productive, then don't give that episode a listen. What we're going to talk through today is going to be the way I've gone about things and how I've set things up to cater for the way I train, the way I want to train, and what fits into my lifestyle. And as well as kind of what I've already got, what do I want to add, what things are going to be added in the future. So, yeah, Chris is going to ask me a ton of questions on the subject, and I'm not going to hold anything back. I'm just going to give you the full beans, give you everything I can. And if you've got any questions on your own setup, what you could do differently, then feel free to shoot up and ask us any questions because we can help you with that. I've helped people set things up, whether it's before lockdown to train through COVID or even since then. There are so many different ways that you can go with it, and it's all about tailoring it to what you want, your training goals, and how you want to use it. So let's get stuck into it.
Yeah, so I think the I guess the first thing is always for a lot of people who are advanced or experienced with lifting or training, let's call it training rather than lifting. Um, Having a home gym is kind of like a dream setup, isn't it? How long have you wanted a home gym for?
Always. Since I
Oh,
started training, I've always thought, you know what, I want something in my house where I can go downstairs and at any point in time crack on with something and get stuck into my training. And I think obviously being in the fitness profession and having it as a job, it's a very useful thing to have in terms of me just filming stuff, filming exercises for clients, just as a base to work from. And sometimes it's the change of environment as well. Like working in a gym all day, sometimes everyone always says, oh, you must be fit. It must be the easiest thing in the world for you to train. It's not. You're in the same environment for the same thing, and it's just boring. Sometimes it drags, and you need that different bit of stimulation, that bit of a different environment to be able to go and train into kind of give yourself a bit more variety. And I don't know, like it. It is tough sometimes when you work in a gym all day and then training in the same place. It's not always as easy as people think.
no, I totally get you. And I've had this conversation with many people many a times because, I mean, first of all, people talk about you need to wear different hats. When you're an athlete and you're training, you're wearing your athlete hat and you're trying to get your training on, you're trying to get into a certain, I guess, persona, maybe. Maybe that's not the right word, but you need to get into the right. Why am I losing my words? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Whereas when you're working, you have to be. well, you don't have to be, but you generally professional.
You should be a different person when you're working. To be honest,
Yeah.
like when you're coaching, I'm a different person coaching to when I'm a different to when I'm training.
Yes.
Very
And
different.
so making that switch is hard. And the second thing that you alluded to as well is when you are working there and you work there for long hours, you you don't really being self-employed, you don't spend a lot of time at home and you don't spend a lot of time outside of work. So any opportunity to get away from that environment and pull yourself to say a home gym, it makes a big difference psychologically. So I
Well,
absolutely get
so
where you're coming from.
this is something where most people will spend the vast majority of their time in three different places. You'd be home, work, and one other. And when your one other is typically your training environment, like if you do go to a gym or you go to a social club or a sports club, that's your other environment. For us, a lot of the time, that one other environment is either home or work. And let's just say I spend the majority of my waking hours at work to then train there and add more kind of awake time at work is tough. Like most of the time I spend at home, I'm sleeping. It's
Yeah.
bedtime. Like I get home late, leave early. That's generally the process. So having kind of like this, if you want to call it like a little sanctuary, my little, if you want to call it like my little lab, my own little hole in the ground, so to speak, if you want to go for a Hobbit terminology, then this is it's a nice little addition for me. It it gives me a bit more balance, and also what I would say is the additional factor of sometimes when the gym's really busy, it's really hard to train there.
Yeah.
And I hate having to train around really condensed spaces around lots of other people. It really irritates me. People get in the way. And if I want to do jumping, if I want to do, various other different activities, it's really tough to do that and also chuck barbells around. A lot of people don't mind it. For me, I hate it. I need my own space. I don't like feeling boxed in by other people. So that's a factor. And then also, if you go out, if you've got a family thing at a weekend, or if you're going away, or if you get back late from doing whatever you're doing one day, like having your own environment just makes it so much easier to just go, do you know what? Being out for lunch, being out with friends, family on Saturday, I'm going to go home and I'm going to train Saturday evening rather than having to then go off out to the gym. Um, like again, for me, it might seem like such a small thing. It's like 10 minutes drive away. So you're talking 20 minutes total time in the car, but then you're having to open the gym, unlock everything, and I could just come downstairs and crack on.
Yeah.
Even if it's late at night, even if it's getting like 9, half 9 at night, I can be like, do you know what? I'm just going to go and do either a quick interval set on the rower or hit a set of front squats or do something to get me going in first thing in the morning. Um, yeah, for me, it makes everything a lot more efficient.
So before we get into like specifics of kit and exercise and stuff, what was your initial intent? So when you set it up, what was your, I guess, training intent for it? Because obviously, if you'd have had ultimate freedom, I'm sure you would have had a big pool put in there and all those luxuries, but you didn't need those. So what was that intent at the start?
Yeah, I think if I had unlimited budget, I'd be sauna, jacuzzi, probably a swimming pool, and then a long 40-meter ish plus length sprint track, proper sprint track. Um, I'd go the full hog and then a full on power cage platform, just everything. Give it the beans. I think that'd be the thing with possibly a couple of weighted machines fitted in as well. That'd be really nice. That'd be the dream. I think for what we'd got. So this I mentioned before. This is a project like years in the making. I'd always had like the vision and the idea that I wanted a home gym, and then how long ago was it now? About 2 or 3 years ago now, we started the planning process for building an extension to the house. You've been big project, yeah, very expensive. Like we basically added, well, doubled the size of the house.
Another house.
Yeah, pretty much. And obviously, as part of that, we decided we were going to set up a room which we could be used as a gym. We initially we've got it's on the plans as a garage. this could be used if you took all the equipment out. This could be used as a garage. So if we ever sell up and move, we could take all the kit with us, and someone could just use it as a garage if they want, or they could use it as an office. The only thing that would be in here as like a permanent piece of the furniture is the boiler with the underfloor heating system. That's it. A couple of pipes in the corner and a boiler. Um, Other than that, just a normal garage space, a little bit bigger. So what you can see behind me, for those of you who might be watching on YouTube, is the entry point, which is a little bit narrow, and then off towards this side of the camera on the other side of my laptop, it widens out. So it's probably an extra 50% wider at the bottom end. So that gives plenty of room, which I'll eventually have like a few shelves, probably a bit of a standing desk space there. But I wanted to set it up where it wasn't just me that could use it. I wanted to set it up and use it for me to be able to film content in for social media, for videos for clients, do things like this, like record the podcast in here. Um, and also for me to train in and train the way that I like to train. So I wanted to be able to lift a lot of weight. I wanted to be able to lift heavy. I wanted to have a few bits of CV kit that I could use to, get gassed up. I wanted room where I could jump. Um, we've got quite a high ceiling as well, so we've got like pull-ups aren't a problem. I'm not going to hit my head on anything. I've got room where I can do Olympic lifts if I want. Um, yeah,
Wow.
I can pretty much train the way that I want to train without too much worry or too much fuss.
Okay.
And
You
not
want
only
to,
that, but Fiona can train in it as well. No problem. Easy to use.
I like it. Are you able to move the camera?
I am, yeah. It might unplug and unsettle a little bit. Let me try and just trying to keep it. It's the connector on. Apologies if you're only listening on. Yeah, it's the connector. It's not going to work. Let me try just tilting.
Just so that everyone can
Yeah,
see.
no, it's going to be a. Let me switch. I'm going to switch cameras for a second. You get a bit more of a blurry picture on this one. There we go. So switch cameras. There we go. I've got the rig there. Got the dip bars on at the minute. It's got a pulley system at the back. I've been a bit of a naughty one and left some of my weight plates out in an easy, ready to use fashion on the floor down there. I've got the laptop currently on top of it's a plyo box, soft plyo box, nice cushioning. Got an old assault bike, loads of floor space, and then in the middle it's a little bit messy at the minute. I've got my rower erg, a couple of additional bars. So Fiona's got her barbell, there's an easy bar, and then I've got all my hurdles and stuff over in the corner there. And then behind the camera, um, there's just some accessories on the floor down there. So there's not a lot more to see than that. But yeah, does that give you a good enough view of it all?
Yeah, so what I wanted to kind of touch on there is obviously, first of all, for everyone listening, Alex knows what he's doing with his training and has handpicked things specifically. At least we can only assume at this stage, maybe he hasn't. But it's not the most vast amount of space possible. There's one big strength rig there, then you've got your bar and plates, and then a couple of pieces of erg kit. Is that right?
Yeah.
And he's got, I'm assuming, like you said, everything that you need to satisfy the intent, which is to do exactly what your training is, outside of doing, like things like sprints that would require more space than you would naturally normally do in a gym anyway. You can do
Yep.
basically everything. You've got a high ceiling, so you can do your jumps. You've got kits, so you can do your strength, and kits, so you can do conditioning work as well. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, lovely. Okay. Talk us through then. Talk us through the strength kit. What did you go for? Why did you pick it? What can you do on it?
Sorry, camera keeps fucking up. Yeah, so obviously the main thing is getting the right rig. So we needed the power rack that could take the weight essentially, and ultimately getting the flooring right as well, so I can
You
actually
mean
drop stuff and put stuff
taking the
on it.
weight of the bar with the plates on, you mean? Is that what you mean?
Yes, yeah, I did. I wanted something that was going to feel sturdy and feel pretty solid, as well as looking reasonably good. Um, So it's a body power Titan rig, and we got a different bar. So we've got the pull-up bar with a few different handle variations, or we've got the normal gym that we use, CrossFit 3D, which has got plenty of straight bars. We have got a straight bar that we could put on. I tried to give that back, but they were like, nope, don't want it. We can't use it for anything because that's kind of like the standard thing. So that was an additional thing. And then we were kind of toying with, I was looking at a couple of rigs that have like cable pulley systems built into them that kind of fit on the inside of the rig, and some fit at the back. And I can't remember why we didn't necessarily go for that. I think it might have been more to do with like the space of where the barbell would fit within the rig. So here I can put the J hooks on the inside at the back of the rig, and you could squat in the cage. I've got, I think with this one, all the accessories that came with it were pretty much perfect. So I have got um, some release handles, which so I've got first off, we've got the soft safety straps, which you attach either end of the rig, and they can take, you know, probably about 300 kilos worth of weight, no problem.
They're crazy, those. I saw those in the CrossFit Games in the back squat event. And to be fair, they didn't need to be used a lot. But when I saw the weights that these guys were dropping on him, I couldn't believe it. I was like, how on earth are they holding that?
Yeah.
They're
Um,
impressive.
and then I've got, hold on, let me go and fetch.
So for anyone that can't see this, what we're talking about here is it's a Body Power Titan rig, and it's basically the rig itself. So imagine where you would normally do back squats with the J hooks and the ramps, and he's got its pull up bar at the top of it, different handles and such, and then dip bar accessory on it as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I got, yeah, we've got the dip bars for it. We've also got some of these release squat bars. So basically, the bar sits in it, the handle comes away, and that just means that when you stand up with the bar, the handle drops in, so you can just squat straight away. You don't have to step backwards with the weight, uh,
Oh, good. That's good.
which super useful. Like if I think there's a lot of instability. Like if you're squatting really heavy and then you have to take a step back, that's a tricky thing to do with a big amount of weight. Don't really have to use them, but they are a nice to have. The main thing I wanted was like I don't really want to be dropping megatons of weight on this floor because it's not an issue with the floor. It's not a problem with the flooring. It's the fact it would shake the fucking house.
Yeah.
So, for the sake of everyone in it, peace of mind of the dog, Fiona, I don't want her banging on the roof. Um, Try not to hammer weights onto the floor all the time. And I wanted to make sure that I could still squat heavy enough and work with heavy enough weight in a safe manner. So that that's why we've got the safety straps. And we have got the bars that sit between the rig as well. So can have different things set up at different heights. And yeah, I've got plenty of accessories with it, which was a nice little bonus.
So what you actually said there, if
Oh,
anybody,
by the sorry, there is a pulley system at the back of the rig as well. So we did want to get a pulley system. So we've got low handle position with this is the footrest at the bottom as well. So if you wanted to do a seated row or anything like that, that's easy to do. And we've also got a pulley handles at the top, so it's like a two-way thing. And then you just add weights to it.
oh, that you put plates on.
Yeah, you just put plates on, so it's a plate loaded pulley
Oh, right,
system.
okay. Good. So you can literally do everything. You can hinge from it, you can squat from it, you can push from it, you can pull from it.
Got a landmine attachment as well.
Right, okay, wow.
I'm just trying to see what else we've got.
So with all that stuff there,
Yeah.
obviously with a bar and plates, you could literally do very good full body workouts.
Oh yeah, easily.
Yeah. Without
Very
necessarily
easily.
you wouldn't necessarily be able to do isolation exercises, but you would be able to do big compounds, and you probably could still find a way to do them. But so that's pretty good then. How big is it for context?
Do you want me to
That
go stand in it?
is that yeah.
So this is me standing in. If I reach up to the top, so I'm 5'11", If I reach up to the top, I can grab hold of the handles with my arms near enough straight. So it
Oh,
just means when I'm doing pull-ups and stuff like that, it's just having knees bent. But the reason it's built to be a little bit of a lower profile because not a lot of people have kind of like that high ceiling. So
yeah.
it is designed to fit in most. Well, it would fit in pretty much anyone's front room if you want.
Yeah, I like that. And one of the things that I was going to say is, if people didn't pick up on it, you've basically got it set up so that you, even though you have got gym flooring put in there, you unlikely to drop any weights because you've got the features on that rack that mean you're probably not going to anyway. That's very cool. Very, very
Yep.
cool. So you can sling your tin in peace and quiet, or you can sling your tin and your partner gets peace and quiet. That's
Yep.
pretty good. That.
Yep.
Okay, so outside of that machine, what's the other strength kit? You've got is it just the bar and the plates outside of that? And then
Yeah, so we've got stuff like a bar pad for hip thrusting, we've got mat, we've got um incline adjustable bench, plyo box, we've got the weight storage stand, which that was a little additional purpose. We've got that with an easy bar. We've got about 37 and a half kilos of fractional plates. So I don't you won't be able to see this, and I'm not going to adjust the camera. But we've got two little mini 5 kilos, two and a half, two times two and a half, 2 kilos, 1.5 kilos, um, 1.25s. We've got ones, and we've got the heaviest weights in the world as well. The little 0.5 kilo biscuits.
they make big.
Um, so we've got plenty of fractionals.
What do your total plates add up to? Your bumpers?
So we've got 340 kilos worth of bumper plates,
So
which is plenty.
just enough for your deadlifts then.
Yeah, it's plenty. So we've got a barbell each. So Fiona's got a 15 kilo bar. I've got one of the 20s. We've got 425 kilo plates, 420s, 415s, 410s, 4.5s. I think that's all. I think that's all of it. So yeah, we've got plenty of weight, which is good because it means we've got plenty of weight for the barbells. And then if we get a little bit lazy, we got plenty of weight for the pulley as well. And it also means if we're both training in here at the same time, um, we don't have to worry about mixing and matching, calculating weight, and trying to be clever about who's lifting what. So we can just kind of go, take what you need. And there's plenty to go around. So yeah, that's pretty much it as far as the strength kit. We've got already had a weighted vest. Got a little ab wheel. We've got some gymnastics straps, which are like you can sit your elbows in them
Yeah.
and use those to do some core movements. What else have we got? I've got
Oh, it
stuff.
goes without saying as well. You mentioned that you sat on a bench, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I've got the incline bench as well.
It is
That's part of it, which is quite. It's quite.
essential bench press.
Yeah, it's quite a nice cushion base. It's honestly, again, it's the Body Power Titan bench. Most of the kit is Body Power Titan.
Was
But
the
the
reason for
benching,
that? Was that because of your affiliation to the Manchester Titans, or was it just a happy coincidence?
no, it's just a happy coincidence. The weird thing is, right? Obviously, you mentioned about the Titan aspect. So Manchester Titans. If for anyone that's been on my social media, the font that I use for the branding
Stop it.
and a lot of the other stuff is actually the same font. So can you see on the top of the rig there where it says Titan?
Yeah, I
Right,
wouldn't have known until you said it.
the A is the same A I use for a lot of my brand. Like that's the same font. I was like, you have. When I went in and I saw it, I'm like, I have to buy that now. Like I can't not buy that.
I have
Um,
sold you. Wow.
so yeah, the bench actually, I'm very very impressed with because it's really nicely, really good upholstery, really well made, really well stitched. It's a nice feel to it as well. Like it's that kind of like material. If you scratch it or if you just run your hand over it, it's kind of silky. It doesn't feel like your typical gym bench, and it's lasting very well. Like it's getting a good bit of use. And this is the other thing as well, right? With the home gym, in terms of the plates, the bench, like all the equipment. because I'm more or less the only one using it, especially my barbell, like Fiona will use everything else, but because I'm pretty much the main user, I know it's not getting abused. I know it's not getting thrown around in a way that's going to break stuff or damage stuff. And it's going to, that essentially increases the lifespan of it tremendously. Like if you think the amount of times a rower in a gym is going to get used, it's going to get hammered every single day, possibly for multiple hours through the day. Me and Fiona are the only ones using that. So the longevity of it is promising, should we say? Like it's a pretty solid investment. So um,
Last question about the strength stuff then, before we go through your CV kit.
yeah.
Other than obviously it was meant to be and it's called the Titan, why did you go? So I've seen obviously the pulleys and the rigs and the racks and everything. There's like a million variations. What was it that you were thinking in terms of that one? In terms of obviously capabilities, utility for it. What did you have in your head? Okay, I need to be able to do this, need to be able to do this.
Yeah, so there were a few different brands that we were looking at in terms of what kit we wanted, where we were going to buy it from, and various other things. So we had a look at a different range of setups, different price ranges. We were looking at one which also had a lifting platform, and I'm glad we didn't go for that in the end because there wouldn't have been room for us to have that and then have the maneuverability with everything else. Like obviously we've got the CV kit, the rowing machine. If we'd have had we could get a lifting platform in here, but it would then dominate the space. Um, and you'd be really hard pressed to fit and move things around it. So it would kind of ruin the flexibility and also the usability if two of you wanted to use it at the same time, which we might do as we go on with it. You would kind of take away that capability. One of the reasons we went for this rack is just ultimately like from a couple of the places we looked at, reputation wise, they're all right, but there is a bit of variability with some of their kit that I've seen. And it wasn't possible to go anywhere to test it out or to have a look and have a feel at it. This stuff we actually could. There was a place down the road at the Trafford Centre which we went to, not the Trafford Centre, the Chill Factor where we went and got it. We had a look at it there. We had a play with it, had a feel for it, had a feel of the bumper plates, and essentially all the kit that we've got. And I liked the flexibility and the range of options and the capabilities with that particular rig and that rack. So, and yeah, in terms of where it fitted within the budget, it was pretty reasonably priced as well. So, and then because we bought so much from them, we got a discount as well. So,
Nice.
recommend it.
Good.
Recommend.
Good. We don't need to go into the numbers of cost and stuff. Okay,
Well,
so
I'll give you a rough idea if you want. I'll give you a rough idea. So, flooring wise, £40 per square meter. But then you're looking at, with a discount, it was more like £32 per square meter. Um, how many tiles did we buy in the end? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, maybe 16-ish tiles at that rate. So if you want to work that out, I'll do it for you.
yeah, I don't.
Let's have a look. 16 times 32. Yeah, about 512 quid, which was more or less what we'd budgeted. Um, then the rack, the bars, the plates, all the accessories, I think we were looking at around 4 grand in total. So that's probably about right. That's roughly where it was at
Sounds about right.
with everything in. So yeah, we were quite happy with that. Like, we wanted to make sure we did it properly, um, and that we were going to be happy with the quality and the usage of it, rather than it feeling like when you pick something up, you think it just feels like cheap shit. Yeah, we didn't want to do that. So yeah, we went in on it.
Yeah, and I think it goes without saying, for you, you're going to be lifting quite a lot of weight. The intensity is going to be pretty high. Like you said, you've done a little bit extra to make sure that if you drop that weight, you can be caught. So you're protecting your floor and noise and the rest of the house as well, anyway. So it's worth that investment for some people. If you're a beginner, you don't necessarily need specialized kit or fancy plates and fancy
Yeah.
buttons. I know you didn't get that, but you don't need like a 4K like mega Titan body power thing, but you do need something that's going to be stable. It's going to be resilient and durable and not going to break down when you're trying to put your weights back, when you're trying to put a bar on a rack or something like that. It's not going to flip over. So there are certainly more.
That's the thing. Like when I if I was to do pull ups or weighted pull ups on there, it's not shaking, it's not wobbling around. Um, if it was, I'd be an half mind to take it back and be like, this isn't right, this isn't suitable. Because again, if it's going to be sitting there with 200 plus kilos for squatting, that's no good. If it's not going to be able to take that weight, so yeah,
Okay, talk us through the CV kit. What have you got? CV.
There's not a lot CV wise, to be honest with you. We've got an old assault bike, which I bought from our gym when they were changing over to the new Rogue Echo bikes. I bought that, I think that was during lockdown. Um, it's had some use, but it's pretty tired now. So we are going to be getting rid of that fairly soon
Oh, yeah.
and replace. Yeah, we're just going to replace it with a normal concept bike.
Why is
Uh,
that?
just because that's what I want.
You want
I want something where I can just get on it and blast the legs.
Right.
And also, I feel like sometimes if it's, if you've had a long day and you're a little bit knackered and you just want a bit of a gasser, you can just sit on there and pedal and you don't have to. And I like reading as well. You can't sit and read on an assault bike. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That might sound really shit, but like, I'm not very good at sitting still. So if I am going to sit and read a book, I'd quite happily sit on a concept bike and just keep my legs ticking over. And usability wise, you don't have to go mega hard on it all the time. You can do some easier sessions on there rather than just being on an assault bike every time. Um, so yeah, we're going to change out the assault bike, get a concept bike, and we've already got a concept rower, which was kind of the decision of do we go for the bike first, do we go for the rower first? Do we pick the rower because it's perfect. So that's the other reasons why we want to go for the bike instead of the Echo bike, just because we've already got one piece of kit that is like a full body experience, if you want to call it that, which is a rowing machine, and then um, yeah, the concept bike's just for a bit of an easier chill out, even just a bit of a warm up and you know match day, game day. I can just get on that, get the legs pumping a little bit, and then get out and hit it. Yeah,
Interesting. Interesting. And yeah, I mean, you can still do very intense stuff on the C2 bike and it will blast your legs very, very nicely should you choose to do that. Nothing wrong with replacing an Echo bike. I think it's just interesting to ask that question to hear that answer because most people would naturally just anticipate, well, surely the Echo bike's better for developing capacity because it requires more musculature, but not necessarily. If
yeah,
you're gonna be a cyclist, you're probably better spending time on the C2 rather than doing the assault bike.
yeah. But again, like a lot of my CV work will typically just be kind of like easy, steady state,
Yeah.
chill out, almost relax a little bit, and um, yeah, it's just a different purpose. So it's not always like an absolute killer. So like my main method and my main way of training is very much power and strength focused for the actual lifting. So there's not a lot of, you know, CrossFit type WODs in there. There's not a lot of the energy systems work in there. It's pure power, strength, bit of bodybuilding, and say functional stuff like more joint care aspects. So that's the main bulk of the session. So that would be I'd come in here, lift, and then my CV work would just be in a separate session. That's where it might be something like go through, Miko's triangle, probably one of my favorite. things to do because it's just easy. You just keep ticking through. You're not having you. It's not one of those ones where you have to break yourself. But I also do just enjoy just like 20 to 30 minutes just sitting on a bike and pedaling, like getting a bit of a sweat on. I actually just enjoy doing that sometimes, which is the reason for the bike again.
Yeah,
And
and I
again,
think it's more easier to integrate into more people's lives doing that. It would
yeah,
be a non-bodybuilding variation of doing Stairmaster, dare I say it, or cross trainer or something. You can sit on it, you can pedal your legs. You could even move it in front of your telly, Alex, and pedal away if you wanted to. I know you probably won't, but you could do if you
trouble
wanted.
is I don't like so this was the other thing, right? You know, I think we were talking in the previous episode on 132 about the home gyms. Like we're training in lockdown. Fucking hated it. Training in my front room, I sweat really easily and I sweat a lot. And I just couldn't bear the thought of I'm sweating on the carpet and I'm essentially like, you know, when you train and steam is coming off you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is my front room. This is my living room. This is my chill out space. I hate this. And I was like, that was my general experience through lockdown. Um, where it did,
Sensing like a slither of autism coming through here. When I'm at work, I must work. When I'm in the gym, I must train.
when, I,
I cannot relax. I must relax in my front room. I
when,
cannot
I'm,
rest in my front room. This
when
is
I'm
not
in bed,
the
I
point.
must be sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what it is, though, isn't it? Like that's your chill out space. There's my gym is where I gym. My chill out space is where I chill out. My bed is where I sleep. Do you know, like you don't
Oh,
go to sleep in your car for the sake of it, do you? Like you don't just go, oh, I'm going to get a really comfy car in case I need to sleep in the fucking thing. Um,
the worst thing.
yeah, it's just I think for me, the way that the house is set up, rooms have purposes. And I don't like that cross contamination. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't go and cook in my living room.
You know what, as well, Alex?
I like eating at the dining table. I enjoy eating at the dining table. That do you know? Since we had everything done, that was the big thing. So we used to have the kitchen and the living room was separate. Sorry, guys. I know you came in for the home gym setup, but this is bigger than that now.
It's also you have a lovely dining room.
Thanks. But it's like previously the kitchen was separate to the living room, like completely separate. Like there was a big wall separating it. You had to go down a corridor, in through the dining room, and then into the living room. So like I'd come home from work late at night. I'd be doing my dinner prep. Fiona would be in the living room chilling out. We're completely separate from each other. We're nowhere near each other. Like that's not a relationship. That's just avoidance. So even going from that, like typically there wasn't room to eat in the kitchen. The kitchen was purely for like here's where you cook your food. Your dining room's through there in the front room. And again, that's separate to the living room. Whereas now it's kind of it is an open space. So you cook, you got the dining table, and then you got a chill out space at the end. And it's like for me, that's perfect. Like I don't want to sit on the sofa and eat my dinner off the sofa whilst watching TV. I want to be able to sit at the dining table and eat off a table.
Yeah. I don't know how we got here, but I'm here for it. Um, so obviously you've got everything that you need. You've got
Yeah.
everything that you need. Is there anything, are there any plans to develop it further? Are you thinking, oh, I want to get this piece of kit next, or I want to have this?
Yeah, the next thing we've been saving up for, and the next thing we've been looking at is for a set of adjustable dumbbells. There's a company called Nuobel, who are a Swedish company who do an adjustable dumbbell. So you might have heard of stuff like the Bowflex ones. Um, a lot of the adjustable dumbbells I see, they are a particular size, and it doesn't matter whether you're using 2 kilos or 30 kilos, they are the same length.
Yeah.
Whereas the Nuobel dumbbells, Nuobll, they are, if you want a 2 kilo dumbbell, you get a small size dumbbell. If you want to adjust it to the 30 kilo dumbbell, it will go to that size that is required. So it like the less weight you use, it's less clunky, it's less chunky, it's not as big. Um, Recently, Nuobel they've brought out a dumbbell that ranges from 2 to 40 kilos, which is perfect. Like that is there isn't anything I can't do with that. Like I don't if I need to bench bigger, I'll get the barbell out. Um, not a problem. So that would cover for everything. So that's probably the next edition. Then after that, it'll be the C2 bike. And then beyond that, I don't know, like we've got bands, I've got an ab wheel, I think the only other thing that I would do then is I would need more space. I would need to move house. And then I'd be looking at getting stuff like a GHD, um, or a reverse hyper. I think you can get some two-in-one machines for that now as well, where you can do both. Um, but yeah, that's a much bigger situation further down the line. I think for
Is it
now, the
adjustable?
addition for this particular room for this particular gym setup, it would be the dumbbells and the C2 bike, and then that would be it. I think.
I like it. Is your bench adjustable?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it will go from it doesn't go to a decline, but it will go all the way through the incline to a seated vertical position. And it's quite easy to move as well. It's got a nice handle at the bottom at one end. You can push it and pull it around quite easily. And it's solid as well. It's not one of those that feels like if I try and wiggle on it now, more or less the entire thing is like fixed together. It doesn't feel loose or rickety in any way. Like
Yeah.
if you try and like if I try and wiggle the actual back bit of the bench, there's maybe there's like a tiny bit of give. There's a tiny bit of give with it, which if you're benching a reasonable amount of weight, or if you box squat into it or anything like that, then you want as little movement as possible in it. It is pretty robust and nice to put together. So
No plans for any kettlebells?
no, because I the problem with kettlebells is what are you using them for?
Yeah.
And then if you are using them, how adaptable is that one weight? Like, where's your progression? Before you know it, you might need a range of kettlebells. Then you've got a full kettlebell stack. You can get adjustable kettlebells now. Again, I'm just not a big fan of any of them when I've tried them.
I think
Um,
the one exercise that a kettlebell is phenomenal for, and that is it, is obviously a kettlebell swing. Like it's best to do that with a kettlebell, but you can do it with a dumbbell, but it's not.
yeah, but
Or maybe
again,
if you're doing Olympic lifting.
for me, for a kettlebell swing to be worth it, you're probably looking 40 kilo kettlebell. And then unless you're doing like if you're doing CrossFit and you're doing CrossFit to a relatively serious point, then yeah, you need a different setup to this fundamentally anyway. But you would be able to work with that one particular specific weight. Whereas for me, where I'm at, like I'm for my hinge movements, I'm doing plenty of jumping. I'm doing stiff leg deadlifts, RDLs. Don't really need too much more than that. Like if you think, what are you using a kettle? Like if you were going to program a kettlebell swing, what are you programming it for? What's the purpose of it? What are we aiming to get from it?
Yeah.
Trying to work the hamstrings under length and tension and get speed of movement through. So just adapt the way that you do an RDL. Do it with a fast drop, fast drive. You could do it with if you were to go stiff leg deadlift and maximize that hamstring and that lever length, stiff leg deadlift, keep your knees as straight as you can, get tension in your hammies at the bottom, but then still pick it up the floor. Be aggressive with it. Be aggressive and very intentful on the way that you're going to lift. Um, Equally, if you're doing it for hip drive and you want to maximize effort from the glutes, barbell hip thrust. Do you know what I mean? Like there's different ways to do it without me actually having to go and buy a kettlebell and then be like, well, I'm not a fan of this kettlebell. I need a heavier one now, or it's a bit too heavy for me to do this movement with. I'm going to go for a lighter one. Like I'm not doing Turkish get-ups. I'm not interested.
Really? Oh my word.
Yeah. Uh,
We're not
and
going to go
equally,
into that.
and equally, even if I did want to do that, I can probably do that with my dumbbell. I could probably use one of my little weight plates for it if I needed to. There's different ways to do it. So
On and do it with the assault bike.
you imagine doing that with an
What
assault.
about a heavy bag. I feel like bit quirky.
Punch bag,
A what?
punch bag, or are you talking like sand?
Oh, heavy sandbag. Yeah,
Yeah.
great for conditioning.
Yeah, but again, for me, specifics of what I want, do I need a sandbag? Not really.
You don't want to train picking people up and slamming them over your head.
I'll go and work on a builder's yard. Like that'd be. I mean, I've
That
got a
would
wheel.
help.
I've got a wheelbarrow in the back garden. I suppose like the only other additional bit I could get in here would be probably a trap bar. I do like a trap bar deadlift. I was thinking about that. Yeah, I suppose sandbag, med ball for slams, maybe. But again, I can do pretty much everything else I want to do. So the only
It'd
like,
be nice to have on top of, wouldn't it?
yeah, yeah. I mean, what we're talking about here is decorations, really. Like that's the additional sauce on top, isn't it? The little sprinklings.
Um,
Yeah, the other thing that I do need to do is kind of go over the walls with get some decorations up. It's pretty plain in here at the minute because we've just got other things going on. We're actually having windows fitted today, so one project after the other. It's constant.
Have you got, so this is perhaps the most important question. Have you got a cutesy little name for your little gym? I know you obviously called it like a hole in the floor or whatever hobbit thing. You gave it a couple of names earlier. You've not called it anything silly like Alex's Pain Cave or
No, no, no.
okay. That's good.
Sometimes I would sometimes say to Fiona, I'm just like, right, I'm off to the gym, and then she gets confused. She's like, wait, where are you? Where are you going? It's like home gym. Um, no, it's not got a cutesy name. It's not getting a cutesy name. Not doing that. Not doing it.
Probably for the best. Probably for the best. You could get a cute little mantra on the wall.
Don't know about cute, but I do want to get some quotes up there. I do want to get some like there's a you see the bit of I don't know, bit of ceiling where it comes slightly dips down and vertical. We could get a nice little quote across there, and then there's plenty of wall space around the outside. Which like this is the thing that I'm actually enjoying about this now is because it's my environment. I can take control of it. I can put on the wall whatever I want to put on the wall. Well, within reason, if Fiona will let me.
Like it.
Um, but yeah, like we've got control over it. We can paint on there whatever we want to paint on. We can hang jerseys up and things like that if I want to. Um, so yeah, I think there's a few things that need doing next, which in terms of like shelving and storage space, like like the jammer arms that I showed you, and then um, the squat safety supports and things like that. They just need their own kind of storage place. So that's probably going to be one of the next phases where we can just make sure we've got storage space for everything, and then yeah, we'll get finishing touches done on it.
I like it.
So by this time next year, it'll be ready to go.
Wow. Big plans. I don't think I have any other questions. I feel like you answered them with some of the answers to the questions anyway. Is there anything else that we've missed?
No, I don't. I don't think there's anything else to talk you through. To be honest, I think that's pretty much it. It's not mega. It's not massive, but it doesn't need to be. Um, there's plenty of space for me to train in it. There's plenty of space for Fiona to train in it. The dog can come and lie down in here while we train in here. Um, got the ability to put our own music on, and we can open up the door if we want. It's just, yeah, it's lovely. It works really well, and yeah, I think we're both pretty happy with the actual overall setup. I think the only thing that, and again, I don't see this as a big problem. Like, so we have got a lat pull down bar, but we haven't got any sort of pads to help keep your knees fixed,
Oh
which
yeah.
so you can't really do lat pull downs. But at that point, I'm like, well, I'm just doing pull ups anyway. And if I did want to do lat pull downs, I could even just loop a band around the rig and do some banded pull ups to get the volume in if I wanted. So,
Yeah.
yeah, again, it's having the intelligence to be able to train and work around things. that you want to do that you can't quite do perfectly, but you can do in a fashion. So yeah, no, we're pleased with it.
I like it. I like it. It looks nice.
Yeah. So if there are no further questions, Your Honour, we shall finish the episode where it lies.
Yes, boss.
Lovely stuff. Right, guys. Well, hopefully that's given you an insight into what my home gym looks like or sounds like, if indeed you are just listening on a podcast. Um, that's everything from us for today. If you've got any other questions or if there's anything else you need to know, just drop us a message, give us a shout. Instagram is probably the best place for that. So Alex underscore Lenkowski underscore performance or Chris. What's yours?
Underscore Lenko underscore performance.
Is it? I thought you'd reach. I thought you changed it back. I thought you'd just gone Lenko Chris.
I did change it back. It's Lenko Chris.
Lenko Chris on Instagram. If you want to listen to that previous episode on home gyms, it's episode number 132. So you don't have to scroll back too far. It's about 7 episodes back. Give that a listen to, and then yeah, crack on. If you are interested in setting up your own home gym, then go for it. I can promise you, you won't regret it. It'll be a sound investment. Anyway, that is it from me. I will see you again next time.
Peace, love, and protein.